Welcome to the next level, boys and girls. This is the 5th released Mickey Mouse cartoon, The Opera House, and we're doing a Toondudes commentary on it today. So this is actually the 5th released and the 5th produced. So now the naming scheme or the production schemes are going to make a little bit more sense. So now that this is the second Mickey Mouse cartoon made after Steamboat Willie, I'm starting to think that we're going to notice more trends that stick instead of having weird disconnections with the release cartoons. I'm going to be releasing these in intended release order, so the way they were released to theaters in the 1920s. So you're going to see this as the 5th one, and now it's going to be the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. No more, Plain Crazy was actually the first one made, but the 4th one released. Like, none of that. None of that. So this is another really simple cartoon. Not a whole lot to say about it, other than my personal opinions. Mickey working as stagehand. I guess he wasn't a multimillionaire yet. That's kind of interesting. And then we got, obvious fat jokes coming up. That poor horse. This is why I don't ride a horse. That's footage of me riding one right there. No. I'd like to think I'm a little thinner than that. But, fat people joke because this was really funny to people at the time. You gotta notice too that all these early Mickeys take place in a small town type area. It's usually the joke about these cartoons is that they're like a small town or a barnyard or something like that, and they're putting on like these really fancy shows and stuff. I think that's the joke, at least that they were going for. Unfortunately for us, it's going to be really simple for a little bit here. So, yeah, you let out all the air. I wish it was that easy. Does anyone else? Asbestos. Yeah. Let's just say they can't do that anymore. But that's probably one of the first times. I can't even remember the song that they're playing here, to be honest. Another interesting thing to note, this is actually the first cartoon where Mickey wears gloves. I'm sure we'll see that in a little bit here. I mean, this cartoon is mostly built around the music that it plays. This gag is lifted right from Steamboat, pretty much. I do love the violence and animals in these cartoons. I mean, I know that people aren't happy with it nowadays, but I don't care. I find it funny. Dentures. No. Kid with a pipe. Okay. The soap pipe. I mean, he's blowing bubbles. That's the gag, but maybe that's what they did in the 20s. And then, a pin. That can't be comfy. Just having a pin stick out like that, that's not how they did it, right? I have no idea. He's just a kid. And why does this instrument have a flushing tool for that? And then this is probably offensive. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but this can't sit well with anybody. But it doesn't. It turns out it's not a snake charmer. It's a cat smoking a pipe. I like how smug he is until he realizes he's been found out. We got Mickey doing some exotic belly dancing. I mean, alright. Again, I assume this was a lot more common to see in the 1920s than it is now, and it may or may not be offensive. I'm not too sure. I apologize to anybody that this does offend. Yeah, this must have been really easy to animate, because I'm getting very big Hanna-Barbera vibes with the fact that only half his body is moving while his face is pretty much, static. This is also the first cartoon that was released by Pat Powers during the 1920s. They only published them for about a year. Got an audience of, barnyard animals. This is pretty standard for Mickey cartoons, especially of this period. And then there are his gloves. I don't know if they appeared earlier. I didn't notice. His hair is supposed to represent a famous musician who I can't name right now. I probably should have gotten that information. But, musicians, pianists. Yeah, pianists. Let's all, laugh at the joke here. Uh, you know, all that crazy hair. It's just the stereotype. So it might not have been just like one person. I believe this is the first use of that one really famous piece of music that appears in a lot of cartoons. I can't remember what it was though. It was pretty fun to imagine though. Again, this cartoon's a lot less interesting for me without the music because that was the entire gimmick with this cartoon, right? Was the, synchronized music. That was the whole draw of the cartoon. Now that I'm, removing that from myself, it definitely is a little bit of a slower cartoon, especially if you're used to like a little bit more of the 1940s cartoons of the time. But hey, I mean, Anthony had to go through the Buddies and Bosco, so I mean, I guess I could watch a cartoon without any. Jesus Christ, that poor piano. I have seen this before. I have. It's just, again, like it's pretty obvious to see why some Mickeys are remembered very well and some just aren't. There's not a whole lot of special anything to this one. It's just kind of cute to see that piano laugh at him, though. Play itself, yeah. Screw you, I don't need anybody to play me. I can play myself. Cute little chair, too. It took Mickey a while to get back up after that, too. It must have hurt. Yeah, so let me know in the comments what you think of this cartoon. Obviously, I'm not getting the full enjoyment out of it as somebody who could be listening to it could. But I don't think it's a bad cartoon. Just a very interesting look into the early synchronized sound of cartoons. So with that, we're gonna be ending this like pretty soon. So I'm gonna just say that if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It means the world to me. And we'll catch you guys next time. So, as Mickey, gives his bow. Okay, that's pretty good. We're gonna be out. So have a good one, guys. Whoop.